Well, we've gotten bigger simply just to survive.
Right.
The economies of scale really do help us survive these downturns. You know, there's just more cushion there. Our prices have remained depressed, yes, because there isn't as much competition as there used to be for our milk. There's fewer buyers of milk.
Right. Do you even remember, you said you've been in this for 30 years now. Do you remember when there were more buyers and it made a difference? Or has it pretty much always been this way for the last 30 years or so?
Oh, it's pretty much been this way.
Right.
For our generation.
So, but they like the fact that there's all this surplus milk available, their costs are low, and they are the middleman. They sell to the supermarkets and other buyers, and they're doing well under the present circumstances.
Yeah, I have a graph that shows over the last 30 years. There's a line that goes steadily up over the prices that consumers pay for dairy. There's another line that goes underneath it, steadily lower of what processors pay.
To pay you?
Or what? No, let's see. What's the middle line? Our line, the producer's line, is level like this on the bottom.
Right.
So consumers pay more, but it's getting lost in the middle.
So and in other words, the Dean people are doing very well. The middlemen people.
Yes.
Okay. And
they can recover their costs. You know, it's harder for dairy farmers to recover our costs because the minute the price of fuel goes up, all our vendors tag on a fuel adjuster price, for example. Well, energy costs are high on the farm as well, but we have no place to recover those costs.
So, and how can they recover it?
They just charge more.
Oh, to the
yeah,
people,
they have the ability to set their prices.
Right.
Yeah.
They have price setting ability. You have no price setting ability.
That's right.
So it's a funny thing. You're basically part of a federal system. It's all determined somewhere in Wisconsin.
Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. Okay. But so you sell for what you can get, and you don't have any control over it. Whereas the people who buy your milk, they have control over what the price they can charge.
Right.
Okay. What are your other big problems? Again, you've alluded to one. The rising cost of energy, I assume, is a big problem. And this farm is sort of famous for producing some of your own energy, right? And how do you do that? Through?
You know, it makes so much sense on a dairy farm. And, I'd rather talk about the good stuff than the negative stuff, because in Vermont, we are so unique. And what is uniquely beautiful about this state, and everyone is recognizing it, which is kind of cool, is the open landscape.
Right.
And the open landscape is there because of the farms. And there's such a diversity of types of farms in Vermont, and everyone is unique, and everyone is special, and everyone is needed. What does dairy bring to the table? Like a farm like us, it contributes to the whole local economy. Our 25 employees earn $1 million, our payroll is like $1 million, and that all gets spent right here in Bridport. The local diner, Pratt's store, says, I don't know what I'd do if you guys went out of business, because all of us and all our employees go there.
25 employees, you said?
25 employees.
And it's about $1 million annual payroll.
Yeah. And the same, like our milk goes to Middlebury, just 8 miles down the road.
Right.
We talk about value added. We turn it into a nice Vermont labeled cheese, and that provides 125 excellent jobs right there in the town of Middlebury. I think their payroll is in the $24 million range, something like that. And altogether, Agrimark has 575 employees in Vermont. And people love our cheese.
Well, there's no doubt about that. It's a very, not just here.
And we get an additional premium because of that, because we're promoting this value-added product in the state of Vermont.
Right.
All profits are returned to us, the dairy farmers.
From
Cabot.
From Cabot.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
because it's a cooperative ownership situation. 2,400 cows.
Well, 1,200 cows and then
being milked.
Yeah, and 1,200 young stock.
Yes. They produce a lot of manure.
They do.
And what do you do about that?
Yeah. Well, it all starts with the sun, believe it or not.
Right.
The energy in the sun grows our crops. And we grow them on the 3,000 of this open, beautiful landscape, 3,000 acres. We are specialists at growing crops in this Addison County clay. We've become quite good at it. But we grow it to feed our cows because on a dairy farm, it's all about the cows. Every decision we make starts and ends with the cows. So we've got this huge investment in cropping these lands, and we feed it to the cows. And they
Corn? Are we talking about what?
Corn and hay.
Corn and hay.
Yep. We feed it to our cows, and they utilize the energy so they can stay healthy and grow and give lots of milk. But they don't utilize all that energy. So it comes out the other end, and we're very happy to scoop it back up and collect it in a vessel called a digester, which is, it's shaped like an in-ground swimming pool with a concrete cover. It's all concrete. It's a concrete tank. We fill it with about 12 feet of manure, and then there's about 2 feet of space collecting naturally occurring methane gases from the manure digesting, because it's really just continuing the process that was happening in the cow's stomach.
Right.
And those gases run generators.
Right.
And those generators generate enough electricity for most of my town of Bridport here. It's about, currently it's about 400 homes, but we hope to increase that. We have the ability to get a more efficient generator and capture even more of those gases.
So basically, your cows are fueling most of the town.
Yes.
Electricity.
Yeah.
And it all goes into the electric company
It
grid,
does.
so it's not, they don't know specifically that this light bulb is being powered by this cow.
Although we did have neighbors down the road thinking that they smelled something when they turned their lights on now. They actually said that.
Did they really think that?
Yeah. But think how uniquely Vermont this story is too. When we, as you mentioned, we've always dealt with all this manure that our cows made, and we've, always tried to manage it in the most efficient and best.
Are you on a
management
river here?
practices.
Are you
No.
on a, so you don't have that kind of water pollution
No,
danger problem?
but we
Okay.
do a lot to try to avoid any types
Because
of
you still
possible
would
runoff.
have runoff. Yeah.
Absolutely, and we apply the manure now in a manner, I'm getting ahead of myself, that's towards the end of the story, but because of the digestion process, we have this unique ability to really insert it into the ground, inject it.
Okay.
I have a picture of that. And so, we can use, it's called a piece of equipment, it's called an aerator. It's pulled by a tractor. And
Oh, right,
we can
okay.
spray it, it punches holes in the soil, and then it's sprayed underneath and back so that you can look back, and while that manure fertilizer is being put in the ground, it just goes right in, so that really eliminates possibilities for runoff should a weather event happen or something.
And it goes right back and fertilizes the soil.
It does.
It's a whole loop system.
Absolutely. And in addition, that's the liquid part of the digested manure. But we squeeze that liquid out of it after it's been digested and we've collected the methane gas, generated electricity. The liquids go out so we can replenish our fields so we can grow more crops. The solids, the plant fibers is what really it is what we use to bed our cows with. And it's this beautiful, like peat mossy, well, beautiful, I think it is, stuff that is fluffy, and we can put a lot of it and keep our cows comfortable. And we were looking at all these possibilities 7, 8 years ago, and the state of Vermont had that little bit of funding called the Vermont Methane Project. And we were working with some folks at the state, and we were bouncing ideas off each other. And then it was Dave Dunn from CVPS who was
Right.
coming into this conversation saying, I have this idea that, something called like cow power or something, and I think that Vermonters would help pay for it and help you guys fund a project like this. And on faith, because we were the first ones to do this in Vermont, on faith, we went out there and said, wow, okay, you think they will? Okay, we will. Because that was just enough for us to make it sustainable, to manage the waste that comes from the farm in that manner. And we're very proud of that today. I mean, talk about having the community jump in and say, we care about you. We're going to pay more for our electricity so you can do this.
So you've cooperated with the state in this. Are other farms doing this now?
Oh, yeah.
You were the first, but there are a whole bunch that are doing it now.
Exactly.
And it's more power that we don't have to don't have to burn coal.
And it's
or
base
natural
load
gas,
power, which is
base
kind of
load power.
cool.
Right, it doesn't have to wait for the wind to blow.
Exactly.
Right.
Our cows produce electricity 24/7, or
Right.
fuel for generating
Right.
electricity.